Maybe winning the Melbourne Cup.
The Ranvet Stakes in Rosehill in Sydney this year. I rode Montefilia and we beat Very Elegant, who was a short price favourite. So yeah, that's been the highlight so far of my wins.
Oddly, it's not in racing, it's being a mother. It's something I never thought I would have the opportunity. It was always focused on my career. Being a role model for girls and young riders, but then to have that level of connection with my own two twin girls, it means everything to me.
The Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
Probably the Melbourne Cup. It's for most Australian and New Zealand jockeys. It's right up there, and yeah, I'd love to win it.
There's countless that are just internationally recognized, but oddly, to go back home and nail the big ones that are in our own backyard. I'd love to win the Queen's Plate again, partially for my own, partially to make that history that I can see it being stamped there for a while. So I'd like to do that a second time.
Thierry Jarnet.
An All Black called Jonah Lomu. He ran over top of a couple of your English rugby players at the '95 World Cup. So I grew up, I was around the same sort of district or area where he grew up or started. So yeah, he was someone that I thought was amazing growing up. Yeah.
Slightly different physiques.
Definitely.
Well, when I was a kid, I loved watching the Major Leagues Baseball. So I remember watching Joe Carter and Roberto Alomar and those guys just at the top of their game. And I mean, a little bit different from horse racing. But you know, in my family room, sitting there at like 7 years old, you know, we win, we run outside banging the pots and pans. You know, those were moments that you'll never forget. So it's good to think back on those.
My father riding at Auteuil.
Probably going to the races with my father. He trained racehorses in New Zealand, or still does, and he's actually just moved to Australia. But yeah, going in the truck with him, yeah, that was my first memories.
I was born in Brampton, which is like the suburbs of Toronto, and when you drive down the 427 highway to go in downtown, you drive right by Woodbine. And I remember every single time I would sit there with my, I'd always want the left seat on the drive down and the right seat on the way back, so I could see out the window, I could see the grandstand, and I remember a couple of times seeing the races as they went by as we're driving. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to go to Woodbine and watch the races for my birthdays. Where do you want to go for your birthday? I want to go to the races. So it's always been ingrained in me, and to take these horses, these animals, and turn them into these competitors, these athletes, and then I get to jump on their back. And when I was a kid, I was told, no, you just trot. Now you get to go, full steam ahead, and get as fast as you can. It's a feeling like no other.
I always wanted to become a jockey, so I didn't think about it.
Not too sure. I studied accountancy at high school, but after a year of that I realised that wasn't for me, so I'm not too sure.
I have no idea. I really don't. Something to do with horses, but I think I would be getting my competitive nature out, maybe playing rugby on the weekends, like a weekend warrior or something, but yeah.
Japan.
Winx winning her final race in Sydney, the Queen Elizabeth. It was a sellout, and it was amazing to see the crowd there that day for a race course in Sydney. Yeah.
Riding Hong Kong, I was there for a few months early on in my career, and I didn't quite appreciate what it meant for me as a rider to go to out onto the track and experience the level of passion and enthusiasm, that the Chinese people throw at the game. The horses and the jockeys are truly stars over there, and I wish we could have a little bit more of that in a few other locations.
Deep Impact.
I grew up love watching Sunline, the New Zealand mare who, I think she won 9 or 10 Group 1s. She won 2 Cox Plates. I thought she was amazing. Her and obviously Makybe Diva, what she achieved in Australia in the Melbourne Cup was quite extraordinary.
I think back to, you know, watching Franco, the way he quickened. I mean, like, just the power. I think partially just because it's so close where, you know, I was riding at the time. I'd been riding races, and so I could appreciate it more for what it meant. I mean, to go back in time, it would have been nice to sit on Secretariat as well. I mean, his last career race was at Woodbine in the International, and to watch him quicken the same level of, you know, it just, you know, the big red machine, like, just wow.